put a lot of pressure on it, and from the heel to the tip. And you do an equal number on each side. Now there are different stones for that sort of thing, and there's different ways of doing things. There's water stones they use in Japan where they'll take the thing like this and they'll rub it back and forth. And then they'll feel the blade curve and then flip it over and do the other side. And Chef Welsh knows a lot about those. But we'll talk more about this when we get actual to the knife. We do knife stuff, okay? But I want to just give you a precursor to it. Out of the way. And I'm going to take out a piece of carrot that has been peeled and cut to a certain length. Now, over here are some of these different cuts I'm going to explain to you. For instance, the terminology we'll talk about today is julienne. Julienne. A julienne is a matchstick. Julienne, if you look on your French culinary terminology, the word julienne, Julienne, julienne means literally matchstick. And a julienne is this size right here. You see those matchsticks I've got right there? They're like a little matchstick. It's 1/8 around and it's 2 inches long. So it's 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch. Now, if you want to go get you one of those little 6-inch rulers, it's got those little ticks on it, and that would be advisable. What I want to do right now is show you that this is the julienne, and the one below it, down there, number 4, is called a brunoise. And a brunoise is simply a dice that comes from the julienne. So if I were to make the julienne like this, all I'd have to do is line up my juliennes and cut them into dices, exact squares, not rectangles. If you cut them longer than they are wide, then you're going to get rectangles. Cubes are what we're looking for. You remember the old little cubes we used to play with as kids to learn the ABCs? They were all squares. They were cubes, like an ice cube, but some ice cubes are rectangular. Well, they were squares, so we cut them like these little bitty squares right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to go about cutting a julienne. Now, I'm going to save that piece because it's a little longer than the piece I got right here. Well, no, it's about the same. So what I would do is, if I want to cut myself a log, I always like to get square with the board. Now, I'm left-handed. We got any left-handers in the room? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and me. So 4 or 5 of us in the room are in our right mind. The reason I say that is, you know, if you're left-handed, your right brain handles your motor skills. But those of you who are right-handed, your left brain handles your motor skills. So anyway, I can do it this way, but I'm ambidextrous, so I could do it this way. But what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to turn this way. I do want your cutting boards to be long ways, and I want you as a person, if you're right-handed, to square yourself up with the board. And I want you to square yourself up with a knife so you've got a straight line here and a straight line here to guide you. And that way when you do your cut, you make straight lines. Because the better cuts we make are because of the planks that we have. See how flat the plank is? So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my plank. And I'm going to take my knife, I'm going to take the blade down like so. And I'm going to cut down and cut a straight line. And then this piece right here goes into my bucket because that's trimmed. Then I'll flip it over to the flat side. So it's flat. Flip it over. And I'm going to make another cut so that I've got a plank. The round part's gone now, so pretty much got a square. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to cut matchsticks. Now my matchstick plank is about 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, but it's a plank. So now what I can do is take that plank and I can cut me some juliennes. So now I've got myself some little juliennes, see? little matchsticks. So that's how I go about making it. I cut all my round parts off. And then I cut my little plank. And I can cut more planks. And more planks. And more planks. And another plank. And I've got that trim right there. Now if I'm good and stack up a couple of these, like so, I can come back, especially if I'm in the restaurant and I need it to be fast. Start with these three right here, and look there, those are pretty good little juliennes. Now I can take these juliennes and stack them up to make some brunoise. Okay? And if I get little bitty cubes out of them, those are rectangles, that's not good. I just wanted to make some so I can show you the difference. It's still square, but it's longer on one side than the other, so it's a rectangle. It's the difference between a cube, which is the same on all sides, and something that's that wide, and then on one side it's that wide. We don't want that. All right, so now, these are the planks that those come from. Now there's another cut called a bâtonnet. And the bâtonnet is 1/4 inch instead of 1/8. It's twice as big around. It's a 1/4 inch. And Chef Kaczynski teaches them at 2 inches. Because that's kind of what our guide shows that I gave you. Remember your knife cut one night? I see a few of you have it out. And that's okay. It is okay, but typically we teach 2.5 to 3 inches. And either way I will accept. If it's 2 inches long, I'll accept it. If it's 2.5 to 3, I love it. Okay? But I want to show you how to make a bâtonnet. The same way. We turn the round carrot down that's been peeled, and we line it up, and we always do 2 things before we start cutting. We hold our knife like this, with our thumb on the blade, and our fingers on the blade, and these fingers underneath this tang. This is the blade, the handle. This is the tang. Well, the tang runs through here. This is the bolster. This is the blade. This is the edge. But we have to hold it. If we're right-handed, we hold it with our thumb on here, and this right here. Some students will hold it like this. You hold it like this, you got no control over it. Look, it's going everywhere. You hold it like this, you're going to get carpal tunnel syndrome because there's a nerve that goes down through here. So if you cut like this, you're going to get carpal tunnel and you're going to be in the sling. So what we do is we hold it like this because we get maximum control over our knife. And we hold it with our thumb and our finger like so. And it might not be comfortable to you the first time, but after you get used to it, oh boy, it's great. And what happens too is you get the chef's callus. On whatever hand, you get a callus across this finger here, or as I've got one across this finger. Now, when I was in the business, I had a hard one, boy. I'd knock you out with it. But now mine's kind of soft, but I do still have a callus. And if you come to me, I've had students say, Chef, I feel like I'm getting a blister. Is that right? And I said, let me see where it is. I saw it. I said, yeah, that's right. That's where it goes. So anyway, I square myself up. I hold my knife the right way, and the second thing I do is I use the claw method. See how I'm holding this? I cannot stress this enough. You must use the claw method because I'm tired of sending people to the hospital. Last block I had 6 stitches on one young man. The block before I had 4 stitches on one young lady and another 2 stitches on another young lady. No blood. No blood. Band-Aids are $5. So anyway, we got Band-Aids. I'm just teasing it. Okay? But no blood. If you hold with the claw method, you will not cut yourself. If you learn to hold with the claw method and you get in the wrong place, you'll hit your nail and then you'll have enough reflex to pull off. But if you don't and you're holding it like this or like this, you will get stitches. I promise you. Okay? So, I hold it like this with the claw method, and I get down here like this. I look at my carrot, and I cut with it a little bit narrower at the top than at the bottom because the carrot's not straight, right? The carrot's narrower up here than it is down here. So my knife tip's up here, but it's a little deeper in the back, so that this piece that comes off still makes my plank straight, because my plank won't roll now. See, plank won't roll. Because now I've got a flat edge, pretty flat. So I take this, I put my trim in the bucket. I come back over here and I go in there and then carrot again and I trim down and I roll over and it won't roll. See, it's narrow at the top, thicker at the bottom. Save that for carrot soup. I go back here and I trim it down, and then I roll it over here and I trim it down. Okay? Now I've got to look. One of my cuts has got an angle to the plank, and I don't want an angle. I want my plank to be really nice. Then I want to go to 1/4 inch deep. And I want to go to 1/4 inch deep. So now I've got two planks that are pretty much 1/4 inch planks instead of that thinner plank you just saw. Okay? So this other part is trim. So I take that trim and I make carrot soup or carrot juice or smoothies or something out of it. Then I come back here and I make a 1/4 inch bâtonnet. A bâtonnet, a little fatter. Let's get a little thinner. Oh yeah, bâtonnet. Not bad. One's a little fat, it's all right. Let's come back around, make a 1/4 inch. And I like to get my stuff straight so that the board can give me a guide. Okay? I like to let my board be my T-square. So there's my bâtonnet. Now I've got 1/4 inch matchstick, 1/4 inch, they're not matchsticks, but they're 1/4 inch pieces. They could be, if they're 2.5 to 3, they make great French fries. This is also a good cut. Now, why is it that we do these cuts all uniform like that?
They'll cook evenly.
They'll cook evenly and they'll give us a great appearance. Very nice, very nice. So these are the way that we do these cuts. Now, if I want to make from the bâtonnet a small dice, then I'll just take me a couple of bâtonnets over here. They look very similar to one another. This is the most similar. Okay. And I'll take these bâtonnets and I'll straighten them out and hold them together. And with the claw method, I cut them into cubes. And then that way, I might be able to get one more off of that little one. That way I've got some little dices, see? That makes stews look really nice when all of the dices are the same size. It also makes the items in the stew cook at the same rate. Yes?
I get this right.